property is something that's big here in the UK, and I think, you know, that's something a lot of us from our community, we don't understand. We think it's so hard or so complicated to get on the market, but actually it's not. Our biggest problem is that we go alone. If we look at the people, if we look at back the Asian community, by the number of them, and particularly I'm talking the Indian community, when I say Asian, when we look at the number of them in the UK compared to the amount of home ownership, they even by percentage, their percentage of home ownership is even more than white people in the UK. And that's because they buy in 2s and 3s, and even when their children get married, they move back in. Even though they'll be a doctor, their wife will be a doctor or a solicitor. They've got great jobs, but they understand that to really make life better and make things work, we need to work as a unit. There needs to be group economics. And I think for us as a community, we become so individualized. If you look at when we had most ownership, or when we were buying properties, it was the Caribbeans using partner. Why were they using partner? Because banks wouldn't give them money. And now it's almost a case of, because banks are allowing us to have more access to finance, we've now said, well, we don't need each other anymore. We're going to go separate. Whereas other communities are going together. And so property is something that we need to come together on and do more, and also move together. This is a problem. One of the biggest problems we see is that when we buy alone. And so you now buy in an area where you can afford, and now there's no plantain on the high street. You can't get your hair products, so you've got to come back to London to get your. And it's like, actually, we should move together, because if we all spoke and said, oh, there's 20 or 30 or 50 of us moving here, our children wouldn't be alone in schools, and they'll be less likely to get bullied. We'd have shops would cater for us, because there's more of us in those spaces, and so it will be better for all of us. We have to be strategic, but we are very much ununified. And so those are the types of changes I'm trying to get across in my content and when I'm speaking to people.